Where to find coal ores in Minecraft 1.18. This video is going to explain finding coal ore, how coal ore generates, and the different batches of coal ore. The big difference in the 1.18 update is to world generation. What this means is the caves have changed, the floor of the world is at -64 instead of at 0. Coal ore is generated differently since this update. Coal ore has two batches. A batch means the range, the amount of ores in a blob, if they can be exposed to air, and the height they are most likely to generate. It is possible for one batch to generate in one way, and another in a different way, as is the case with coal. Let's go through the two batches. The first batch is how coal ore generates higher in the world, specifically in mountains. This batch will try to generate coal ore 30 times per a chunk in blobs of 0 to 37 ores from Y layer 136 to 320 in the world. A chunk is a 16 by 16 area from bedrock to the sky. These chunks are how the world is divided. Blobs are groupings of the same ore. This batch has an even distribution at any level. To give you an idea of where in relation this batch would appear in the world, the surface is at Y layer 62 and the mountain peaks in this update can reach 256. The range of this batch starts 74 blocks above the surface. One thing I should mention is just because it attempts to generate 30 times doesn't mean there will be 30 blobs. If a blob generates in air, it won't generate. This blob is more likely to appear in mountains or in caves in mountains. Probably the best biomes to look for coal ore in this batch will be the stony peaks or stony shore. This would be stone covered biomes where it would be easy to see coal on the surface. The caves and mountains are a good spot to look as they can cut through a lot of terrain and can expose coal in the floors, walls, or ceilings. The second batch is lower in the world, closer to the surface. This batch generates 20 times per chunk in blobs of 0 to 37 ores between 0 to 190 vertical position in the world. The best level to find coal ore in this batch is at level 95, and coal ore decreases in likelihood at the ends of this range. Blobs in this batch are 50% less likely to be exposed to air. One change in the 1.18 update is that from 0 and below, deep slate will replace stone. You can use this transition to deep slate blocks to identify where 0 is in the world. This specific batch won't appear in the higher peaks. 95 level is only 33 blocks higher than sea level. This is the best level to find it, but it doesn't mean you have to exclusively be at this level. This is a larger range, so you can find coal ore near caves around the surface or even on the surface. Strategies for mining coal ore. The best spot to find coal ore is higher in the world, specifically in mountains. I would suggest looking at biomes covered in stone so it would be easy to spot the coal ore. Caves and mountains would especially be good as they cut through a lot of terrain. The second batch is trickier as half the time it won't generate exposed to air. This doesn't mean it won't be found on the surface, but is less likely. With the second batch, caves above 0 would be a good spot, or biomes slightly higher than the surface like stony shores would be a good spot to explore. Coal ore can only be found above 0. The best level to mine for coal ore is at level 95, which is above the surface, or to look in mountain biomes.